And we begin with News Channel 3's Joe Galli, who's close to the collapse site near Desert Center with our live mobile newsroom with more from there. Joe.
Well, they've definitely had a lot of progress since our last newscast at 6 o'clock right here. We're actually standing on those eastbound lanes. The collapsed area is just about 20 feet over here to my left. As you can see, a giant hole. So that's the area that they're not focusing on. As you said, they are working on these westbound lanes over here. They've built a large form under the area that was damaged by the floodwaters, and they're beginning to pump concrete down into that form. I'm told it's going to take about 1,000 cubic yards of concrete. To give you an idea of exactly how much that is, when you see a concrete truck driving down the road, that thing only holds about 10 cubic yards. So they're going to be pumping concrete all night long and probably well into tomorrow to try to fill that hole, which hopefully will be good news for the communities that are alongside the 10 freeway. Now, LGBT Days is continuing throughout this weekend. A lot of fun stuff going on. They've got a bar crawl happening right now with a free shuttle service if you want to be a part of that. But you can see a full list of all the things you could do over at KESQ.com. We got it all posted for you right there. Now, Karen, let me ask you a question. Do you know how to do the time warp?
No, I can sing the song, though.
You can sing the song. Well, let's see here. Let me go through the dance moves for you. Here we go. Let me show you. You take a jump to the left.
Oh, yeah.
And then you take a step to the right. You put your hands on your hips. You bring your knees in tight. And that's probably all I can do here on local TV and still keep my job for Monday. So if you want to see the rest, go ahead and rent Rocky Horror Picture Show over on Netflix or something.
News Channel 3's Joe Galli, who I was just thinking about, continues First Alert Storm Team coverage in Indian Wells with a look at the devastation there. Joe.
Well, John, let's take a little bit of a tour down one of the fairways here on the celebrity golf course here at the Indian Wells Golf Resort as I go ahead and take our golf cart and put it into motion just to give you an idea of the scope and severity of the damage here. Now, this fairway looks just like a lot of the other fairways, especially on the celebrity course that got the majority of the damage. They also have the players course here, significantly less damage there, but still some fallen trees. Now, if you're planning on doing any outdoor activities this weekend during those daylight hours, you'll want to be prepared. Wear that sunblock, bring lots of water, loose-fitting clothing. Come on, you all know the rules when it comes to dealing with the heat in the desert. I think the biggest rule is when you're by poolside and a camera is on you, you are obligated to do a cannonball into it. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll see you all next week, everybody. Woohoo!
That was pretty good. That's pretty good. That was a pretty nice splash.
Aw.
Just like that.
There he is.
He's pooping.
He's just pooping on me right now, but that's okay. That's what peacocks do, and just like everybody else. But this is the peacock that was causing all the trouble in Palm Desert. He's beautiful. He's a juvenile, not quite all the beautiful plumage that you're going to see with a fully adult peacock, but he's going to be going ahead to a good home. Along with getting ink and all kinds of other tattoo stuff, they also have screen printing demonstrations like this right here. Here we go.
That looks amazing. That's very good.
Oh, I ruined it. A local Marine Corps veteran is using bicycles just like this to help disabled people. I'm Joe Galli. You can see that story tonight on News Channel 3. Let's go.
We begin with News Channel 3's Joe Galli live in Sugarloaf near the fire, where the community has stepped up to make things a little bit easier for firefighters. Joe.
Well, Karen, when you think about Big Bear and you think about the Big Bear area, you definitely think about camping, and that's certainly what hundreds of firefighters are doing on this softball field right now at Big Bear High School. They've pitched a bunch of tents. That's where they're going to go and catch some Z's after about a 16-hour shift of fighting the fire, which is just on the other side of Sugarloaf Mountain. Let's take a look at a map of where we are right now. As you can see, we are just west of the front lines, and the high school is kind of the best place to set up the command center. And I tell you, the community out here really has stepped up to help these firefighters out.
The terrain out there is really tough. We're talking 10,000 foot elevation at the most, and sometimes they're hiking up 2,000 feet a day or more. They're out there for 16 hours. They're really going to the T on this.
The lake fire has certainly been no picnic for firefighters, but they are making good progress.
We have no structure loss, and that's great. That's awesome. We did have to wrap a few historical structures the past 2 days as a precautionary thing, just in case the fire does come into that area.
Well, this is the kind of tough terrain we're talking about. Firefighters having to hike up hills just like this one, in many cases, ones that are a lot steeper, and then they've got to encounter tripping hazards like this one here that could be on fire. Big Bear High School turned into a command post where hundreds of tents are set up for firefighters so they can catch some Z's between shifts.
This was logistically the best spot for the camp, for the firefighters. It's big enough. We've got here again, the gymnasium for day sleeping. It's close to the fire, so we're not putting the firefighters in a longer time of travel. This just was the best spot, and they moved their whole graduation to do that.
Local residents showing their support, especially on Father's Day.
They gathered cards, Father's Day cards, and they gave one to each dad. These cards are filled out by the people in the community, and it just really touched us. We're out here working, missing our kids, so it just really made it extra special.
The firefighters want to give a big thank you to everybody who came out and everybody who's continuing supporting them as they do this incredibly hard and dangerous work. It is really treacherous up on that mountain. The good news is no new evacuations have been ordered at this time. The fire is primarily burning in a lot of wilderness area on the other side of the mountain, so no new structures being threatened, at least at this time. For now, reporting live in Sugarloaf, I'm Joe Galli for News Channel 3.
News Channel 3's Joe Galli sat down with the victim's father, sister, and best friend to talk about their loss and to help pass along a message to the driver of the SUV who struck their loved one. Joe.
Well, Karen, 19-year-old Sean Clark Jr. died from his injuries earlier today. He was hit by an SUV after he stepped into traffic while skateboarding with friends. Now his family is trying to celebrate his life and, in the process, show true compassion and forgiveness.
It's a very difficult time for any parent to go through, and it's something that you just can't fathom, the depth of the pain and that you go through.
Sean Clark remembers his son, Sean Clark Jr.
Our son was a pillar in this community. He's well loved by all of his friends, contributing member at his school, and just with an incredible personality and future.
He's really loved and missed, and I love him so much, and I wish he was here, and he didn't deserve it.
Sean Clark Jr. was known by his friends and family as Shay J. His best friend was with him on Tuesday night when he was killed.
Chases after the board and he runs into oncoming traffic and gets hit by a car. And I ran after him, screaming his name.
Clark died from his injuries at Desert Regional Medical Center.
You know, Sean was not wearing a helmet, and I have 4 children. And I've done my best to harp on them to wear a helmet, and all their friends wear a helmet. And they just, our kids these days just think, oh, they're bulletproof, and they're not.
Clark, a senior at Shadow Hills High School, had a bright future.
Sean was looking into going to the Air Force or the Navy. The Navy was interested in recruiting him for nuclear engineering. He just loved to fiddle with things.
He would accomplish anything he set his mind to. He taught himself guitar. He was a great singer. He was really, really intelligent.
Even though the family has asked the police to put them in contact, they still haven't had a chance to talk to the person driving the SUV that hit Clark.
We would just like an opportunity for this man to understand that we love him and we hold no grudge or no ill will, and just want him to know that we're praying for him.
He didn't mean to. He stopped and cooperated. It'd be a different story if he took off, but he cooperated, and I would like to extend my olive branch as well, because I know that's eaten him up inside, and nobody deserves to live with that.
Now friends and family remember a young man who meant so much.
Live every day to your fullest. Live it with your family. Live it with your family and your friends, because you don't know what could happen the next second. 1 second you could be riding with your friends. The next second he could be lying on the floor as you call it his name.
He's got a big set of golden wings up there, and he's flying over all of us to make sure that we're not mourning over this, that we're going to celebrate him and celebrate his life.
The family is planning on having the funeral be open to the public. They still haven't found the right venue, but they say the service should be a week from Thursday. They say they'll update everyone with Shadow Hills High School through Facebook, and of course we'll update you right here and online at KESQ.com.